Hi guys, it's Deborah from North of Somewhere Nomad. Welcome to my channel. Today in this video, guys, I'm doing something a little bit different, but it's still in my van, and I'm going to talk all about it. I am doing a watermelon cleanse, detox cleanse, and I'm going to be doing it for a minimum of 19 days or up to 3 weeks or even longer. So I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this, what I'm going to use, how I'm going to get through this, all that kind of stuff. So if you guys are interested in hearing about my 21-day watermelon detox cleanse, let's go. All right, guys, here we go. I'm going to tell you all about what I'm doing, how I'm going to do it, all that kind of stuff. So I'm calling it a 19-day watermelon cleanse, detox cleanse, because the reason why I've chosen 19 days is because from today until 19 days is the day of my oral surgery. So I wanted to, part of the reason is just to detox my body. My body's going to go through a lot when I have this surgery on my mouth. I am also going to talk a little bit about the weight loss part of why I'm doing this, because I've been filming videos now for over a year, and I have myself seen my weight fluctuate up and down. And I really just want to use this opportunity to just nip things in the bud, because there's a lot of things going on in my world. And I tend to be a stress eater or emotional eater when things get a little bit, out of my normal stress. So I want to get a hold of that. I'm going to show you some other things that I'm using in combination with this. I had considered doing a water fast simply because I really want to get my body in good shape for this surgery. But then I thought, watermelon is completely in season. It's just like they're everywhere and they're not that expensive. So that's why I chose to do the watermelon fast. Now, the thing about watermelons, well, they're in season. I have never done a watermelon fast, but these guys are chock full of all kinds of goodness. There's all kinds of vitamins and minerals. It doesn't take much research to see how nutrient dense these little guys are. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this, like I said, I've talked about this very briefly in one of my other videos, but I am having oral surgery. I'm having all of my teeth removed, extracted, and then I'm going to be healing for about 3 weeks. I just have to make sure I touch base with my denturist, and then I'm getting new teeth, aka dentures. So that is what is happening at the end of August. So, and the reason too, what makes sense to me is I obviously won't be able to eat for at least a few days after my surgery, and then a very soft food liquid diet after the surgery, because like I said, I won't have my new teeth made, or I won't have them to put in. It could be 3 weeks to a month. I'm hoping it's more in the 2 weeks time range, but my denturist is going to, decide all that, and I decided to go this route because I really want a perfect fit. A lot of people get the immediate new teeth, dentures, and I just want everything to go well. I've had so much pain and discomfort and agony for so many years that I want this leg into the new experience to go really well. And I really don't care if I don't have teeth. I'm ready for it. I'm prepared for it. I have no shame around it. Obviously, I'm not going to go, I'm going to probably lay low. Well, I know I will. So there's that. And also, so there's going to be a lot of trauma, right, in my mouth. So I figure I want my body to be in its best shape I can get it in for that. So then another big, huge component to my decision to do this watermelon detox cleanse is a weight loss. It's a lifelong battle for me. You know, I have to work really hard at my weight, and now that I'm in my 50s, you know, it's even more of a struggle. And so some of the things that are related to that are, you know, my hormones. I'm a stress eater, emotional eater, whatever. I crave sugar and also salty. So I've kind of always rationalized my stress eating because I don't drink, right? I don't drown my stuff in other substances. You know, food is not the healthiest thing to self-medicate, but I have done it. And also, since I have finished building out my van, I had lost quite a bit of weight while I was doing that. Well, even at the end of living in my car, because living in a vehicle is very physical. Just getting around, and you're outside a lot. Or alternatively, you know, when it's raining, you're just kind of hunkered down in your vehicle, and that's where I get snacky. So the part of also about living in a vehicle, and I'm in a minivan, so I have even less space than a lot of other people in vans and things like that. So it's also space, and I have a not tiny, I have a good sized fridge, but it only holds so much food. And then my freezer is, I think it's 8 quarts. And then I have one long drawer. I have one long drawer that I've showed in other videos, and I'm going to be doing another van tour soon. But so my food storage is limited. I do have some other little stashes, canned goods and things like that, but for the most part, I don't have cupboards, and I just can't stockpile a lot of food, nor do I want to. And so how that is, and so then there's also the limited space. And so anyways, what happens is I do eat really healthy. My norm is to eat healthy. And I try to limit my cooking or food prep in here to twice a day, because I'm limited by space, and I also don't like the cleanup. It's very, it's one of the hardest things for me about living in a vehicle is the food prep, preparing food, healthy food, and then cleaning up, you know. And when you eat healthy, it's like, you know, food prep, vegetables and all that kind of stuff. So there's that. It just contributes. It's a contributor to that, because sometimes I'll just like, I'll go grab a Subway, or just, well, here, this is a good segue into the other reason, is finances, right? I'm on a really, really limited amount of funds, and so I have to be extremely strategic with my food budget. And so what I've been doing lately is I access the local food bank here in my area. Here on Vancouver Island, there's a lot of amazing work around food security. So, but what happens is at these food banks, pantries or whatever, is a lot of the food that they provide is processed food, right? Craft dinner, canned goods, obviously, which is amazing. And also a ton of fresh produce. Like, you can pretty much go and get fresh produce as much as you want or need. And so that has been amazing. And that's kind of why my diet has transitioned to more of a whole food, plant-based diet, I would say, over the last couple of months or so. So that's pretty much what I've been eating over the last couple months, but eating obviously too much. And you know, as a whole food plant-based, you can get stuck in the rice and potatoes, and you know, I make a lot of fancy vegan sauce, even though I'm trying to keep things low fat. So that is kind of where my diet has been. And then, yeah, so that's part of that. And then also the weight part is also, like, I find, at least for me, having extra weight, well, there's two things. So I do have a diagnosis of fibromyalgia from years back when I was in 2 subsequent back-to-back accidents. And anyways, I'm very high functioning. My fibromyalgia flares don't happen very often, but when they do, extra weight is one of the things that just makes it so much more difficult, because you're carrying away, I'm not going to get a whole bunch into that aspect of my life, but it's a contributing factor. So when I have extra weight and living in my van, moving around, you got to be limber and you got to be in fairly good shape, I think, for me anyway. So that's another reason why I really want to get this extra weight on. Anyways, I want to nip this in the bud to help with my fibromyalgia, because I am in a bit of a flare right now. And then what happens then is I don't exercise as much. I don't go to the gym. I put in the effort to walk every day, but it's a maximum effort to push myself. So, and then of course, the heat and the weight and blah, blah, blah. So that's another reason why I want to lose the weight in this strategy. And I feel like this is super healthy. So in terms of fasting, I know a lot of people get really worked up about it, and that's fine. Everybody has their opinions. I have been doing different fasting protocols for years and years and years, and I believe that fasting is very healthy. It's very good for your body. There's so many benefits. I'm not going to get into all of them here. I would just suggest that if you're interested in fasting, do your research. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not recommending anybody do what I'm doing or anything. Just, figure out your own stuff. I'm sharing here what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and sharing with you guys. And hopefully at the end of this, I'm going to share the progress. That's the goal. So some of the fasts that I've done have been, I did a 7-day water fast years and years and years ago. And that was amazing, beneficial. But it was a lot of at a certain point it becomes a mental game. It's not so much physical. So anyways, I did that. And then I've done other 3-day water fasts. And those were usually almost primarily for a cleanse, or if I was getting over sickness or something like that. I used the water fast medicinally. And then I also did a 12-day juice fast cleanse, and that's when I had this fancy juicer, and I just juice celery juice and cucumbers and really high nutrient density foods, and that was amazing. I was doing a cleanse for my body, my gut kind of thing. So I did that, and that was great. It was hard. And then I also did a 17-day bone broth fast. I made my own bone broth in a crock pot or on the stove, and I did that for 17 days. That was also a gut healing thing, and I felt great. I wasn't hungry at all on that. It was so nutrient dense, and I just felt so good. So I did that for 17 days. Then I also did 4 months, primarily just for weight loss. This particular one was, and I did alternate day fasting. So I ate a normal, whatever I wanted to on my eat day, and then I fasted for the next day. So usually my fasts were 36 to 40 hour fasts, and then an 8 to 10 hour eating window. And I did that every day for 4 months. And I lost about 25 pounds, I think. And so that was for weight loss. It was also a mental challenge. I really enjoy challenging myself and accomplishing something big that I set out to do. And a lot of these it's a mental endurance game. Anyway, I did that. And then I would say my norm is intermittent fasting, 16 to 18 hours fasted, and then I have a 6 to 8 hour eating window. And because that's just my norm, it's just how my body functions. And I usually eat twice a day, sometimes 2 meals and a snack or something like that. So it's the amount of food and the quality of the food that is. And then I'm working with my hormones, and insulin sensitivity and things that go out of whack when I get stressed out. My adrenals fry, and then I've got cortisol issues. Like, nothing is medically out of balance, but I know that it's a fight every day. So what other fasts did I do? I think that's it. And I, in terms of weight loss, like the 7-day water fast, I lost about 9 pounds. Like I said, the ADF, 4 months of ADF, I lost 25 pounds. That 12-day juice fast, I lost about 12 pounds. The bone broth fast, I lost, I think, 15 or so. And then I would imagine I'm going to lose a good chunk on this watermelon cleanse. I have never done a watermelon cleanse, so that's another reason that I can do something new that I haven't done before. But from what I've read and other people who have documented their watermelon fasting, because it just flushes you out. So if you're bloated or your lymphatic system, it kind of does a flush there, and just like, you're just flooding your body with lots of good nutrients and vitamins and minerals, and my body just seems to be like, yeah, let's do it. So I listen to my body in that way. Okay, so the protocol I'm using, and again, this is my protocol. I am not telling anybody at all that this is what you should do, or if you're trying to lose weight to do this, because this is not, sustainable weight loss is not a quick 30-day, lose 10 pounds in 10 days. Like I said, I'm doing this for multiple reasons. Obviously, one of them for me is weight loss. And I can't stress enough that you just need to listen to your own body and do you, right? Okay, so some of the things obviously I'm eating unlimited amounts of watermelon. And so I don't know how much watermelon I think I'm going to eat. But some of the things I'm going to do are just, prepare. I'm not just going to eat. I'm going to chop a watermelon up, and then I like to put them in cubes, and then I'll probably put them in Ziploc baggies, or I might even get a container so that they don't get crushed. And then also I'm going to put some chunks in the freezer to make like watermelon pops, ice frozen pops. Yeah, so unlimited amounts of watermelon, and I'm not going to limit myself. And then also sparkling water. I use bubbly, right? I don't know if this is just a Canadian thing or what. And bubbly also bubbly has a watermelon flavored one, so I'm probably going to get that. But this one here is the peach. They've got, 8 different flavors. And what I find when I'm doing any kind of fasting, this stuff fills you up. So if, obviously hunger is going to be a part of this. And if I have had watermelon or whatever and I'm still hungry, this stuff really works to make you feel full. And it's nice. It's something different. And then obviously water. I'm going to drink lots of water. Obviously I'm going to have my coffee. Yeah, so water, coffee, tea. And so that's the food stuff. Now, I also have a bunch of supplements that I'm going to take, and I'm going to share them with you right here. One of the things that's new for me is this berberine. Yeah, I did some research on this, because when I was like, I was just like getting so frustrated, and so I just want to do whatever I can to lose weight. So I actually talked to my doctor about Wegovy, which is Ozempic. It's just branded differently because Ozempic is for type 2 diabetes, and Wegovy is actually marketed as a weight loss drug. But here in Canada, it's just, I think it's like $500 a month. And if I had the money, or money wasn't an issue for me, I would go on that Wegovy, because I've done lots of research and I think it's not bad, and I think it could be used as a tool. Anyways, I don't have the money, and so when I was doing research, like what's a natural alternative, everywhere that came up with berberine, it's like being marketed as the natural Ozempic, but it's so healthy. People take this for all kinds of different reasons, but it does help with, and I've been on this now for I think a week or two. It definitely helps with sugar cravings, and it also helps regulate your insulin, and suppresses your appetite. Not a lot, but I notice the difference. And it kind of helps me to take pause. Like if I'm thinking, oh, I'm hungry, it's not like that ravenous, I gotta get some chips. It's like you just gotta grab something. I find that this has really helped with that. So I'm gonna continue taking this. Why not, right? And then another thing I'm gonna do is take this Cleanse More. This is a really gentle supplement to help move things along and slough things out. And I figure I might as well use this in combination with during this detox because, you know, it's going to clean things out really well. I probably won't use it obviously every day. I'll probably use it, especially at the beginning, maybe once, twice, 3 times a week. We'll see how things are moving along, if you know what I mean. Okay, so there's that. Also, I'm going to take B12 because I feel like I have it and I might as well use it. It's good if you're doing if you're vegan or on a whole food plan, if you're not eating meat, I guess, it's good to supplement with B12, so I'll be doing that. And then, so I have these, I don't know if you guys can see, they're mineral drops. These ones are called Aussie Trace Minerals. But because I'm doing this in this miniature heat wave and I'm going to try, I'll get to this, I'm going to try to do lots of walking. So I don't want to get dehydrated and I don't want to lose a lot of electrolytes. I may not use this because from what I'm reading and understanding is these things are chock full of electrolytes. But anyways, I have it in case I think I need it. And then also I have this electrolyte powder, which I probably won't use because I think between all of this stuff, but I have it in case I feel like I'm dehydrated or, you know, I know the feeling of when my electrolytes are low. It's this weird feeling and I recognize it, so I'll have that on hand. Yeah, and so also in terms of exercise, I will try to do my 10,000 steps a day. I don't know how I'm going to respond to just eating watermelon. So that's the goal. And to just have some wiggle room, I'm going to try to do at least between 5 and 10,000 steps a day. It doesn't take me long to do 5,000 steps. It's just another part of the commitment that I want to do this because if I don't have a goal like that and I'm just, you know, going through something, I'll just hang out in bed. And so I don't want to do that. So that's that. And then, so what I'm going to do, because this is such a long, 3-week long thing, I'm going to do weight updates. So basically I'm going to do a weekly update, but in that weekly update will be a daily kind of vlog put together in 1-week packages. And in there, I'm going to talk about how I feel. I'm going to take my weight, the beginning of the week and then at the end of the week and just kind of see the progress I made there. Just share with you guys what it feels like, all that kind of stuff. Doing it in the van and just my whole life around that. And I think that will be fun for me as well because it'll give me this creative thing to do. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm starting this right now. It's day 1. Yeah, so if you guys want to follow along on my 19 plus day watermelon detox cleanse, I would love to have you on this journey with me. I'm going to share it all. So guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, including this whole journey, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care.